Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Painted Dog TV. Very excited to be back out with all of you. Another absolutely gorgeous afternoon here on the Rietspruit Game Reserve. It started rather chilly this morning. There was actually quite a bit of rain. And I was actually out with my family that are visiting from overseas. We had a very exciting morning tracking a single lioness that's actually been separated from the pride for a couple of days now. Not too sure why she got separated. Could have been just while she was hunting, that she may have got, you know, separated from the pride in the dark whilst they chased after something. But we also, what's interesting is we also found her pretty close to a male lion a couple days back, everybody. So was it perhaps that she was entertaining one of the males? I never actually saw the male. I only heard him. He was vocalizing pretty close to where we'd located this lioness. Anyway, so my family and I found her. We found her again this morning in the rain. Pretty exciting, actually, because I was off the vehicle. I'd left Simone and Graham just on the game drive vehicle whilst I was walking along the road looking for where she'd gone off the road. And where I could see where the tracks ended, I just looked up and looked left, and there was this lioness literally 15 yards from me, just crouched down staring at me. So that was quite an exciting moment for me this morning. But we had a wonderful moment with her. Successful. And we actually lost her shortly after that. She was hunting in some very thick bush not too far from Giraffe. So that's our plan, everybody. We're going to head up that way, see if we can locate that lioness again. Now, somebody had reported seeing a lone lioness at Lowveld of South Africa this afternoon as well. Now, that's a big distance away from where we left her this morning. It's not impossible that it is her. You know, she is currently seeking out her pride, and so perhaps she has gone that way and heading back towards Kai and Lovu. She might head that way to go and search for the pride. But anyway, we're going to follow up, see if we can find her, see what's happened throughout the day. But what I thought we would do is we'd get started at this absolutely gorgeous waterhole down here in the south of Globunk called Leadum. Kevin was out with us this morning and he actually reported hearing monkeys alarm calling in this area. So just want to have a look around the water's edge, see which predator it was that might have come to drink here, that may have set off those monkeys. It's always a beautiful waterhole to stop in at. Anyway, I can see our hippos, hippo cow and calf, who were last seen here. Let's see how it goes, everybody. I'm just going to quickly say hello to all of our pack members that have joined us this afternoon. Good afternoon, Mary. Hello, Carol. Hello, Barbara. Hello, Brian. Hello, Willow. Good afternoon, Becky. Hello, Jan. Hello, Mauricia. Hi there, Rosemary. Hello, Jennifer. Wonderful to see all of you back out with us here again this afternoon. Welcome, everybody. And a very warm welcome to one of my family members that's come out to join me this afternoon, everybody. Say hi to Graham. Hello, Graham. Thanks for joining us, big guy. It's lovely to have you with us. And we have Basil on camera this afternoon, folks. So the three of us are very excited to see what we can find for all of you this afternoon. And like I say, we're getting very close now to Leadum, this absolutely beautiful waterhole. See if anybody's there having a drink. And then from here we'll work our way further north, up towards Giraffe, where I left that line this morning. We'll probably need to go towards Lowveld of South Africa as well, everybody. It's very possible that the lioness that was reported there this afternoon could be the same one I located this morning, this lone lioness. Just slowly creeping down towards the water's edge here and just looking carefully for any signs of predators. Ah, they're the hippos. Hippos are here, everyone. That's fantastic. Hello, lovely hippos. That really is a lovely start right there. Mom and calf just relaxing in the warm afternoon sun. They've become very fond of this water hole lately, these two. I actually drove past the bull. The male is all the way up on Leadwood. He's at Leadwood Dam currently. But these two certainly love coming down here to Leadum. I love seeing the mom and calf together. If you can all hear that bird that's busy calling, it's a hunting goshawk, bird of prey. Okay, copy. I'm just hearing from Andrew back at FC, everybody, that apparently there are quite a lot of gremlins that have crept in this afternoon. We believe that one of our service providers has gone down, so VM is busy working on it. We are hoping to restore full picture as soon as possible. Whilst the hippos are swimming about, I just want to quickly have a look for any tracks of predators here. Alrighty, not seeing any tracks here, so I'm just going to go around to the other side of the water now, folks. Check that side. Spend a couple more minutes with the hippos on that end as well before we head north. Copy. Right, folks, so obviously it's a new week for us here at Painted Dog TV, and with that, a new keyword for this week. Keywords, should I say. The keywords this week, everybody, are vantage point. So if you'd like to get your hands on the Painted Dog image of the week, which I believe is on screen right now, please submit the keywords vantage point. Good afternoon, Guido. Lovely to have you with us, sir. Yes, we have a new keyword for the week, or keywords. The keywords are vantage point. Just going to pause here quickly again, everybody, and have one last look at these beautiful hippos. Goshawk is still singing away, but it's obviously on a tree out of sight to us here. Can't see the bird, but lovely hearing it call. Copy that, Jakes. Is there any sign of the lioness that was reported at Lowveld of South Africa?
Negative, nothing at the moment.
Copy, thanks. Oh, hello. That little hippo calf just got a fright, everybody. It was facing away from us and hadn't realized that I had driven around the water and parked here, and then as it turned saw me and snorted its alarm. Sorry, little one. Certainly gave him or her a fright. I still don't know whether this is a little bull or a little cow, this little baby hippo. But that was pretty cool to see. All settled down now that it knows it's just us. Just the jackal. Just love how peaceful it is here on this reserve. Just listening to the birds, watching the beautiful hippos just biding their time, waiting for nightfall before they start their night's grazing. All right, folks, let's carry on, shall we? Haven't seen any tracks of a predator around the waterhole here. I'm going to now continue north towards Giraffe. And one of the other vehicles that's out this afternoon has just got to Lowveld of South Africa, the waterhole where the lioness was reported this afternoon. And he says he cannot see any lioness there. So that line's already moved on. Anyway, Jakes will keep us updated if he finds anything up that way. Just going to quickly hop off, everyone, and check the road here for tracks. Nothing to report here. Did also hear reports this afternoon that the 2 male cheetah that had been hanging around down here in the south for a while have now returned back onto Kaya. They've been found right up against the eastern fence line of the reserve that side. Might have to wait a little while before we see them again.
Sammy? Yeah, go ahead, go. How's it going, man? Sammy, I just want to know where's the parts of the reserve and cooking? Yeah, probably, yeah, what you do not. What's the lioness trick on could you not? They are following up.
So just heard on the radio now, everybody, that Sammy, one of the kind Ndlovu guides, has just found tracks of some of the lionesses on Kai and Ndlovu. So I was just chatting to Graham about it this morning. You know, the pride hasn't been seen in a while, and it's most likely because they've been on quite a large carcass. They've been feeding for a couple of days, I reckon, which is why nobody had found their tracks. They've just been, you know, pretty stationary around that carcass for a while. But these are the first tracks that I've heard called in of the pride, and yeah, so they're on the Kaya side, which would then make sense that this lioness that I've found this morning has probably headed that way to go and see if she can find any fresh sign of her pride. So I wouldn't be surprised if come tomorrow all 6 are back together again. It does mean that we're probably not going to see any lions this afternoon, but that's okay. It's not the end of the world. What we'll do is we'll search for everything else. I'm still going to go past Kudu Krip, see if there's any sign of some rhino there. I had fresh tracks of the herd of elephant as well, everybody, this morning on my travels. And it looked like they were heading down to feed for the day near the Rietspruit River, up near Seskant Krip. So after Kudu Krip, we'll probably just head up that way, see if we have any luck with the elephants. Good afternoon, Amal. How do you copy me?
Loud and clear.
Amal, there's tracks of what I assume is the Pride on Kaya, somewhere near Kudu Road, Kudu North. There was a lioness seen earlier around Lowveld of South Africa, but she's moved on. The two male cheetah are southeast corner of Kaya, and I think there might be one or two leadwood stations on Blaubank. I'm not entirely sure. Well, the radios have certainly got their gremlins at the moment. The two male cheetah, southeast corner of Kaya, and I think there's two leadwood stations on Blaubank. Good afternoon, Canadian. Lovely to have you join us on this beautiful afternoon drive here on the Rietspruit. We're just coming up towards one of the little water holes called Kudu Krip. Just wanted to have a look around and see if there were any tracks of rhino, or possibly even some rhino drinking there now, and then might push on west towards the Rietspruit River to look for the elephants. And of course my favorite, the leopard. Always looking for the leopards. We believe that all the lions have returned to Kaya and Lowveld. The cheetah are definitely that side, or the cheetah males at least, are that side of the world at the moment right now. Oh, there's some rhino here, guys. Nailed it. That is so awesome. Looks like 3 white rhino, everybody, on their way to drink here at Kudu Krip. What a treat. Jackpot. That is just so cool. Just busy working us out at the moment, everybody. That's why they've stopped. They heard the vehicle approach. And you can see now they've settled again. They're going to make their way towards the water here. Oh, this is just so awesome. Amazing how an animal that weighs 2.8 tons, so that's nearly 6,000 pounds, everybody, is still nervous when it approaches water, still tentative, still cautious. And I assure you, it's no longer because of us. It's just how they are naturally when they come to water. And that's because they still inherently have a fear of predators. So you can see the two younger ones are being led by the adult cow in the middle. And she obviously has loads of experience. So she's listening to sounds that she can recognize and will react accordingly. These two youngsters are still learning. Just awesome. Good afternoon, Ula. Lovely to have you with us. And look at what we've found. 3 white rhino. Seen these 3 together recently. And I think she might even be the mother of both of these calves. Not twins, of course. White rhino moms will normally move away or displace their previous calf just as they're getting ready to give birth to the next one. That will then very often allow them to come back and join the new calf. This is a young bull that's busy crossing the road now. Oh, listen, he's talking, communicating. Very soft, high-pitched moaning is how rhinos communicate. I'm just going to try and reposition the vehicle quick, everybody, before they settle in completely for their drink. Because, of course, we're not going to see much parked behind this bush. So I'm just going to try creep ever so slowly and quietly around them here, but they do seem pretty comfortable with our presence. Just amazing. Oh, I don't know why she got spooked there. It was the young cow that got spooked there. She ended up spooking the others. Bit of huffing and puffing, but they'll settle down again. Carol, to answer your question, yes, indeed, it is the same 3. And yes, we definitely need to do some more trimming, as you can clearly see. It won't be long. I'm sure in the next week or 2, we're going to start with the white rhino population. Just beautiful, everybody. Such beautiful light. Three white rhino currently drinking at Kudu Krip. Usually twice a day, Graham. They'll drink, yeah. If it's readily accessible, they'll drink usually twice a day at least. These rhino, they are quite dependent on water. Sorry, Rhino, go again.
What was the location, please?
Kudu Krip.
Copy, and 5 out.
Copy, make your way. Certainly a beautiful sight indeed, Guido. We are just so privileged to have a healthy population here on the Rietspruit and a well-protected population. They certainly are one of my favourites, the rhino. Just so prehistoric. Beautiful beasts. Mom is very alert, eh? We saw this behaviour from her the last time we saw them, a week ago. So there is another vehicle that's coming to join us right now, everybody, and that is Hanno from Rhino Revolution, who does all the amazing work with our rhinos here, and monitoring them and making sure that the horn trimming happens at the right time, and the movement of rhino as we try to keep the genetics strong in our population. He goes to every rhino sighting he can just to, like I say, have a look at the rhino, make sure that they're healthy, and at the same time gauge the horns of each individual to know who to trim next. And he's definitely going to have to do some trimming here of the mother and her youngest calf. I mean, we'll do all three of them, but it's the mother and the small calf, smaller calf, that are the two that are most urgent, I would say. Canadian, I would agree with you. It's just so unexpected to hear that high-pitched call from an animal this large. It often reminds me of whales. When you listen to the songs of whales that they sing to one another. And again, these giants of the ocean singing that high-pitched tune. Just doesn't seem right. Oh, there you go. She doesn't like the sound of Hanno's Land Rover. She knows it all too well. She knows that Hanno is sadly the man responsible for inflicting a little bit of stress on them when we have to dehorn them and trim them. To answer your question, Canadian, the longest horn that I've ever seen on a rhino was actually down in KZN at Lowveld Game Reserve, and it was a white rhino, and just unbelievable. It was a bull, and actually both of his horns were pretty long. Oh, they are taking off. They do not like the sound of a Land Rover. So I'd mentioned earlier, everybody, how for some reason this cow seems just a little bit more nervous than the others. And I don't know what it is. I don't know why she's more nervous. Hanno can probably tell us. I'm not going to ask him now, but I'll ask him when I'm off air, because I'm sure he's going to want to try catch up to them again. Well, you know what? Let me see what he says. Hanno. How are you?
Good, and you?
Good.
Must have been 22.
Why is she so nervous?
No, she's always nervous.
What is it from? Do you know? Bad experience somewhere?
Yeah, sometimes she's better, sometimes she's worse.
Yeah. She was totally relaxed with us. And then she heard your Land Rover and she was like, I'm out of here. I was just telling all of our viewers, you're the unfortunate man that has to chase all the rhinos so they get to know the sound of your Land Rover. How's that unit working? Iffy.
Difficult.
Really?
Yeah.
only picked them up twice. But
Close or?
when we left the station, I left my station here at Kudu and then I picked up the young bull, and then the unit at Seskan picked up Jock.
Yeah.
But Jock from 900 something meters.
That's amazing.
And then he came to the crib and then he pinged again at 40 meters. But yeah, we've still got a bit to go.
Okay. Work in progress.
And it looks like the ear tags work better than the foot collars.
Okay.
Might be the position.
It could be. I know those collars were a bit tight as well. Maybe they needed to be a bit higher.
The first one.
Oh, was it just, because you used 2 for the second, for Jock?
Yeah.
So I'm just busy discussing, everybody, the collaring that we've done on the Black Rhino recently. Hano's vehicle has now got a special Bluetooth unit monitor on it, and he is trying to track the 2 Black Rhino bulls that we recently did some trimming on, and like I say, fitted these collars to them. And what Hano is saying is the ear chip is actually pinging better than the collars that we put around the front left legs of both of these bulls. And it sounds like there's some teething problems with the Bluetooth connectivity. So basically just a work in progress. It's all quite fascinating to be honest, because of course this is history, it's groundbreaking stuff. Hano, where are you going to go from here, or can I shoot ahead of you?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to go ahead. Yeah. I'll just quickly show you the little base station that Hano has erected himself here, everybody. It's a homemade monitor, or rather a mop, that he's put onto the top of his Land Rover here with the Bluetooth system. Just have a quick look at this, guys. No, very good.
I told you not to show it.
No, why?
But it's actually...
It's very impressive. I think you've done
It should be the other way around, because if you drive into something, then it just flops.
it flops over. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll see if we can fashion something a bit more sturdier for you. Nice to see you, Hano. Have a lovely afternoon. Wow, what a treat to see those 3 rhino, everybody. Jackal, behave. Thank you. Very awesome to catch up with Hano there as well, folks, and just to chat a little bit about our amazing rhinos we have here. So what he was saying as well is that both Jock, which is the oldest black rhino bull on the property, and the younger bull have been pinging more to the west of the reserve, which is where I've been seeing most of their sign. And it was around Seskan Krip where 2 of the pings came from both individuals, and that's where we're headed next, everybody. So who knows, we've seen the white rhino now, we might get to see the black rhino next. We'll keep a lookout for signs of the elephants, of course, and the elusive leopard. I mean, why not? But that certainly was an amazing sign. Very happy with that. Great result. Yeah, so Kennedy, and going back to the length of this white rhino bull's horn, like I say, down in Shishluwe Umfolozi, which sadly has been a park that has been horrifically hit by poaching in the last decade. A lot of rhino have been lost on that reserve. Things have sort of got better, then got worse again, and currently I think it's okay, it's relatively stable. But this particular bull that I saw, his horn must have been, I mean, literally almost 1.5 meters in length. Absolutely massive, his front horn. An incredible horn, beautiful beast. I got a great photo of him as well, somewhere in the archives. Very old photo. I saw that white rhino bull probably 12 years ago, I reckon. But I've always dreamt of going up into certain parts of East Africa and Kenya to go and try and find the black rhino up there, because some of those black rhino have the most impressive horns I've ever seen. I've only ever seen photographs. I've seen, you know, documentaries of those black rhino. Even in the Serengeti, you'll come across them from time to time. I'd love to one day be lucky enough to see one of them and photograph one of them. I might do. Often taking clients up to East Africa, so I'll let you know when I get that photo. Hang on a second. There's an elephant that crossed the road here. You'll very clearly see the giant footprints crossing over my vehicle tracks from this morning, everyone. It appears at least one of the elephants, looks like Bull's tracks, judging by the size, was going a very different route entirely. He's also headed towards Seskankrip. I mean, we're still quite a ways off from that little waterhole. As the crow flies, we're probably about 3/4 of a mile from that water. It's certainly the bull, one of the bulls. Just listening now to see if I don't hear any feeding, him breaking branches. There's two of them that cross the road here. Two different sets of tracks. Looks like maybe both bulls. Well, we know their general direction, everybody, so we'll keep going. I don't hear them feeding yet, so it probably means they're a little bit far off. Trust me, Becky, I've just turned 38 years old and I get blown away by the new tech that's coming out. The new technology is, I can't keep track of it. I'm no tech whiz. I'm sure if we had a chat with VM about all the tech that he'd love to get his hands on, he could tell us a lot. But it is amazing and such incredibly important tools for us in the conservation field, of course. We're grateful for all the help we can get to monitor our wildlife and protect our wildlife. And a huge part of that is thanks to all of you, our pack members that support us. You make these things possible.
We're quite alert and so on. Yeah, no problem.
More tracks, yeah. Well, this looks like a couple members of the herd came through here. So I'm just listening to the update of the lions being called in there. Everybody, the lionesses rather. They are on Kaya, by the way. So out of our reach for today. Looks like those elephants went walking up the road here, everybody. We'll just keep going. I'll switch the car off regularly just so that I can try and listen out for them as well. Aurora, I'm not sure if I said hi earlier. I'm just seeing your name now as I read through the comments. If I didn't, welcome, good afternoon. And I see that Sue's joined us. Hello, Sue. Lovely to have you with us. Looks like this is where the elephants left the road. They went in here to our right, going east. Just sit here for a minute and see if we don't hear them feeding. I'll actually just roll an inch forward so that Basil can show you the beautiful colours of the sun just starting to set now. Whilst we listen for the elephants, everybody, I am just going to make use of the time to quickly mark my territory. So I'll be back in a moment. Just looking at the bush here, everybody, where these elephants have gone in. It's just crazy to think that they choose to go through this stuff. It's so dense, this block. But there must be some good food in there that they're after. I can't hear the elephants, everybody, so we're going to keep going. We now need to turn our direction eastwards. So I won't be heading up to Seskant Krip this afternoon for now, I don't think.
Station, and I'm on left two female lions at the Dunsford Group at the beginning of the Dunsford Group.
Oh, that's interesting.
Rhino,
4 lionesses have been located on Kai and Lowveld. So, where are the other 2? We know that we had one here on Blowbunk this morning. Maybe there's 2 of them that have got separated from their pride. That is rather interesting. Might need to go back up to where I left that other lioness then. This morning, folks. We'll search for the elephants first, however. I'm just reading all of your comments about, you know, when we used to see rhinos with full-length horns. It's just such a sad state of affairs that this is what we now live with, and how we have to, you know, interfere in these rhinos' lives to try and save them. It is very sad, very infuriating. So of course earlier we saw the tracks of 2 bull elephants crossing the road, the first elephant tracks we saw, everyone. And then now we've got the tracks of the herd. So I think the bulls must have picked up on the herd, and that's why the tracks come from different areas but heading in the same general direction, which is east. So I think the bulls were just playing catch up to the females and the calf. And they're heading east towards the Sunsloot River, an area where they often feed as well, along the banks of that river. That's where I'm headed next. This is a dry riverbed I'm talking about, of course. For sure, Sue, you know, obviously the cost of dehorning or trimming rhinos is quite high. It's very pricey. Anywhere, it depends which, you know, veterinary team you're using, which chopper you're using, you know, how many actual people are on the ground, but it can range from anywhere between 60 to 120,000 Rand for an operation where we can do maybe 3 or 4 rhinos in a morning. So it costs a massive chunk of change, but of course the alternative, which is to lose rhinos to poaching, is just horrendous. So, you know, we keep spending that sort of money because we need to try and protect them. But it's a very expensive process. And it's a risky process at the same time. You know, if you've ever listened to these veterinarians when they are busy measuring their dosages and getting the drugs mixed up, you know, for darting these rhino, things can go wrong, and they have gone wrong. Obviously we've learnt a lot in the last sort of 10-15 years that we've been trimming. But you look at these vets and you can just tell from their body language when we are trimming that they're nervous about getting it wrong and ultimately killing this animal that they're trying to protect. It's a difficult job, I'll take my hat off to the vets. We work with just the best vets in the world here in this Rietspruit area. We're so fortunate. A mixture of vastly experienced and young, brilliant vets that live here in Rietspruit. Oh, wow. Big, dark male giraffe on the road here, everyone. Gee whiz, he is massive. And look at that color. He's gorgeous. That is a stunning male. My word. That's got to be one of the darkest giraffe I think I've ever seen on the Rietspruit. He's beautiful. Those are some good genes right there, everybody. You can even tell by looking at the tail. Very thick, bushy tail, long hair on that tail. Oh, he's gorgeous. Let's see if we can follow him around the corner, everyone. See if we can get another look at him. Don't want to bother him too much, but let's see how it goes. He's hightailing it. He got quite far from us there, everybody. I was quite surprised. I thought he was going to be behind this first bush. He's Max Verstappen of giraffes. He's already 80 yards ahead of us. Gee whiz. One last look at him here before he goes up the road, everybody. He seems quite intent on moving away from us here. Absolutely gorgeous male. Very, very nice, beautiful male. Right, no tracks of the elephants here, everybody. So, I'm just going to head across and pretty much line us up to where we last had the tracks and see if we find any signs there. I haven't heard them at all either. Now, we're also approaching the point of where I had my very close shave with the lioness this morning, everybody. It was just up ahead here, where she was hunting these Inyala. I'll be interested to see if there's any signs of her around here, any tracks. I wonder if the elephants aren't nearby as well, perhaps back down in the river. Crested francolins are singing their tune. It's just here where we located this lioness this morning. So I had parked the vehicle right here and lost the tracks just here, so took a walk up the road. I only got 20-30 yards from the vehicle, and that's when I looked to my left and spotted this lioness crouched down staring at me. And I looked back at Graham. He was sitting in the vehicle here, and I said, she's here, she's watching us. And she was just through this gap right here. That's where we saw her. She'd moved off the road into this gap here, everybody, stalking some Inyala. She missed them. We watched her have a half-hearted attempt as they started running away from her. but she was just inside this thicket here. We looked around a little while after we lost sight of her and couldn't see her again. Now there's a mud wallow, a dry mud wallow, just up ahead here, where I thought she might come out. I'm just going to have a quick look there, folks. Graham. She walked right over our vehicle tracks here. So she was still here all that time. That's interesting, everybody. I was just saying to Graham how we lost her over here, and like I say, we drove around it several times hoping to see her again. We never saw her. She was hiding from us, but I now see her tracks here. She did walk through this little dried up mud wallow and over my vehicle tracks from this morning. Now she's heading back towards the waterhole where we've just seen the rhino. At least that's the direction the tracks are going for now. We'll go up this way. I'm still expecting to find signs of elephant along here as well, by the way, folks. Their last tracks were heading east through the block, coming towards us here. Haven't heard them yet. Haven't seen further tracks either. Not seeing her tracks anymore. She was weaving her way through these thickets, presumably looking for something else to hunt. She hasn't really stayed on the road for very long. Anyway, we'll keep searching. Sue, I see you've asked, give us some interesting facts on giraffe. I think the one that always first pops into my head is the one that blows my mind, that a giraffe with the length of that neck has the exact same number of vertebrae as us humans. It's remarkable. It's also amazing how their brains have this, you know, sponge that sort of protects their brains. When you giraffe bend down, sort of people often ask, what about the blood pressure build-up? And this foamy sponge that surrounds the brain actually helps deal with that and protects them. What I also find interesting about giraffe is, you know, for such a long period of time, everyone always presumed that the darker the giraffe meant that the giraffe was much older, and it turns out that that's actually not true at all. It's just genetics. Some giraffe will be darker than others, more melanistic than others, and some quite a bit lighter. Of course, the species of giraffe we've just seen, which is the only species that occurs here in South Africa, is the southern giraffe, which is the most common species throughout Africa. The other two that get seen up in East Africa, the Maasai and reticulated giraffe, look quite different. But besides patterns, or rather difference in patterns, there's not a lot genetically different between the three species. I've been fortunate enough to have seen both of those species up in East Africa when I've led some private safaris up there. They're beautiful. But I still think I prefer our southern giraffe down here, to be honest. Especially that dark male we've just seen now. He was absolutely gorgeous. Not seeing any further tracks of that lioness for now, everybody. But I'm just going to go up to this road here because I want to see if I can find any tracks of the elephants. Good afternoon, Liz. Glad you could join us. We've had a beautiful afternoon so far. We've had some hippos, some rhinos, some giraffes, and we've had some fresh tracks of the elephant herd in this area. Also tracks of a single lioness. We're just on the lookout for both of those species right now. Would have put my money on it that it would have been somewhere around here now that we would have or should have seen the tracks of those elephants if they did continue the direction they were going. Unfortunately, just haven't heard them feeding. They don't, of course, always make noise when they're feeding. Especially, of course, if they're feeding on just grass, softer plant material. Then it's quite amazing how silent elephants can be. Very quiet. It's beautiful. I mean, it's just wonderful sitting in the bush like this with the engine turned off. Just listening to the birds. Waiting for the excitement, you know, of an alarm call or hearing the branches break while elephants are feeding. Or to hear that lip rasping. Haven't picked up on any of those sounds now though, folks. Perhaps the elephants are just in the middle of this block, feeding quietly, not breaking any trees for the time being. heading back down to the edge of the Sunsplit River here, just to continue looking for signs of that lioness. We're going to end up going past Kudu Krip again. Now, if those elephants are going to have one last drink this evening before it gets dark, I put my money on that's where they're headed. So we'll have a look around there in a little while. See? Sorry, chaps. I wouldn't be surprised at all if this lioness has actually caught something today. I mentioned earlier how it was a very cool morning. We actually had a little bit of light rain and it stayed cool till about 1, 2 o'clock. She very easily have stayed active up until then, giving her ample time to hunt again. Wouldn't be surprised at all if she's feeding on something in the area here.
Yeah.
Some old female leopard tracks here. Certainly not very fresh. Right, let's pop back up here to Kudu Krip now, everybody. I just want to see what's what and also just listen for the elephants one more time here. Liz, yeah, there actually is an abundance of general game here. You are right in that there's big patches, periods where we don't see them. But to be honest with you, the biggest reason for that, as I've mentioned, there's an abundance of general game here, so prey species. But the biggest reason we don't see them all that often is because of how thick the bush is here. Very, very overgrown, this reserve, unnaturally overgrown. So that's due to the cattle farming that used to occur on this reserve a long time ago. And we are trying to change that, trying to restore this area back to its complete natural state, where you had a lot more open grassland and far less trees, particularly the invasive tree species. They're indigenous, most of these trees, but they are invasive. They've taken over because the cattle had completely overgrazed this farm. Oh, parlor snort. Faintly hear what sounds like something moving through the bush here, everybody. I'm just going to stay here for a couple more minutes and listen out. I just want to make sure it's not the elephants, or perhaps more rhino coming to the water here. Impala have gone quiet. I'll be back with you in a short moment, everybody. I'm just going to move a bit closer to the sound that I'm hearing. I can't tell whether it's bones crunching or an elephant feeding. I just want to figure out what it is. There's something feeding on a carcass here, guys. I don't know what it is. I don't want to go any closer. There's not enough light. It'll be too dangerous on foot. I'm going to try and go closer with the vehicle. See if we can find a way in here. Graham, you're going to have to work on your tree dodging skills. But there's definitely something just beyond that first thicket that's feeding on a carcass. You can hear the distinctive sounds of crunching on bone. Let's see if we can figure out what it is. Hoping we can find a way in there. Is it this lioness? Is it a leopard? Is it a hyena? I'm not sure, everybody, but very excited to find out what it might be. And the jackal stopped squeaking. Hear that, gee. I can hear it again, everybody. So it sounds like it's a bit further than I had originally predicted, everybody. So we're going to just keep going. Good afternoon, Lily Mouse. Lovely to have you with us.
It's on 1 o'clock.
Might have just hit a dead end here, everybody. Just want to try place where this sound is coming from again quick. Of course, doesn't help that there's a very noisy Land Rover busy going past us. I can still hear the sound, everybody. Just going to wait for this vehicle to move away. It's not far, directly ahead of us here. Unfortunately a very, very dense area, so it's not easy to get to it. The bird that you're hearing the most of here, everybody, is the white-browed scrub robin. Very beautiful call. Right. Let's try figure out a way to get closer to this sound, everybody. Watch. Mind your heads, guys. I have a feeling we're very close now, everybody. It's so weird. It's almost like whatever it is moving further away from us, everyone. I can hear it again. It's up here. It's making me start to doubt whether it is anything feeding. Unless it's a predator that, you know, is perhaps nervous of us crashing through the bush and is moving the carcass away each time. I don't know. We're going to come out of this block pretty soon. I know the next road is not too far from here. Hopefully we won't have to do too much more crashing to get out of here. We'll see. That sound is still coming from up ahead of us here. You good there, Graham?
Yeah.
Mind your heads. There's a giraffe there. My goodness. Well, I've been stumped here, everybody. Let's see if we hear that again. You know what, everybody? I think I've just figured it out. I think it was Sue who asked me earlier on drive to give some interesting facts about giraffe. One of the facts I didn't tell you about is that giraffes practice osteophagia, which basically means they like to chew on bone. We first heard the sound, well, I first heard the sounds of bones being chewed on closer to the waterhole. And as we came around, the sounds kept getting further and further away. I reckon I've just been tracking a giraffe that was chewing on bones the entire time. Because what giraffe will actually often do is they walk off with their piece of bone that they've found, and they'll gnaw at it for hours. They gnaw on the same piece of bone, and it being dark, it just sounded like There, she's doing it again. I can hear it right now, everybody. It is definitely this female giraffe that just walked past us in the dark here. So I just assumed, you know, obviously your brain, it's amazing how your brain works. So fresh lion tracks, close to the waterhole earlier, thinking about a kill, hear that sound, I'm convinced it's a kill. Meanwhile, it's a female giraffe that's busy practicing osteophagia. That's quite funny. Let's see if you can hear it now, everybody. There. You hear that knock?
Yeah, could you grip coming together?
Standing by.
You got something there?
Yeah, I thought I heard a predator feeding on a carcass. I've located a giraffe chewing on bones.
0 out of 5, just try again.
Man, this radio. Negative, Kevin. Nothing here. False alarm.
Copy.
Oh, that's one for the record books, everybody. Gareth successfully tracked down the scary giraffe chewing on its bones. Oh man, that's never happened to me before, everybody. There's always a time for everything, I suppose. First time for everything. It is amazing. Now when you're sitting here, and Graham and Basil will back me up, and you listen to this giraffe chewing on her bone, it literally sounds like a predator gnawing on a carcass. Copy. I can't actually see that giraffe anymore. She's behind some thick bush there. Leave her in peace to her calcium dinner. And that's the reason they chew on bones, everybody, is to get the calcium that their bodies require. They're not the only animals that do that, by the way. There are a number of different herbivores that will often chew on bones to get the calcium. You good, bud? Well, for a long time, everybody, that was super exciting, of course. I was convinced we had a predator there. Definitely got the heart rate going. Incredibly loud, Becky, when they chew on the bones. It really is. And I think the reason we hadn't seen the giraffe, Liz, is because of how thick that block was. Very, very dense vegetation. And she was obviously just slowly walking up towards this road, which is where we bumped into her. Oh, I can't wait to tell my wife that one. She's going to have a good laugh at me. Right, well folks, we sadly don't have a lot of time left together this evening, but it's certainly been an adventure, a lot of fun. I'm really chuffed we got to see those hippos, those amazing rhinos as well, beautiful giraffe. I cannot wait to be back out here again tomorrow morning with all of you. I hope most of you can join us on tomorrow morning's pack safari. Definitely be trying to find those elephants again for all of you tomorrow morning, and see whoever else might turn up. I'm going to try my level best to also head a bit further east to pick up our camera trap that we set up at some stage tomorrow morning as well. But thank you to all of you that joined us. Thanks very much, everybody. We hope you all had fun. We hope that you all have a lovely day, lovely evening, wherever you are in the world. And we'll see you very soon. Bye for now, folks.